Hi guys, welcome to Tarot Night.
Hello. If you can't hear it,
Hopefully you can't.
but if you can't hear it, we're going to be a little bit uh, scattered, I guess would be the correct word. Um,
It's a good word. They are having praise and worship in the church across the hall. And rock on, honestly. Love that.
I mean, they're getting it, and so is the whole building.
You know, that's one thing I have to say about this church that I actually really like, is they are not afraid to bring the house down as far as worshiping their flavor of God.
I mean, do it. If you're gonna.
If you're gonna.
If you're gonna.
So, welcome to Tarot Night. Don't know how loud it'll be for the foreseeable future, but we're going to do our best to hopefully make sure that it's not too rough. So, as always with Tarot Night, let us know in the comments if you have a question, if you'd like a reading. Tonight it is just Steve and I.
At least as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know.
So,
but let us know in the comments if you have a question and you would like us to give you a reading, and which one of us you would like to read.
Absolutely.
Stars, as always, do get you bumped to the top of the list and the chance for both of us to read. Woo! So that's Tarot Night. Just as a reminder, as far as some announcements go, next month, the Central Kentucky Mystical Market is going to be on the third weekend of the month. If I'm not mistaken, that is actually June 21st and 22nd. So if you're going to be in the Lexington area, pop by. That's going to be at 1165 Center Parkway.
Yep. Look for the double doors that say Sunnyside.
Yes. And all right, Keith, I can get you added. Keith would like a reading from you, and he is our first of the night.
Oh, sure.
No ass handing. LMAO.
No ass handing.
No ass handing.
No ass handing. All right. No ass handing it is.
But while Steve is getting everything out, no, since it's Tarot Night starts at 8:30.
Yep.
Jenny was asking if we started early, so nope, not tonight. We actually started a little late because we were looking at the praise and worship in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, we usually do Tarot Night a little bit earlier just because we usually run a little bit longer.
Yep.
So it always starts at 8:30 instead of 9. But throughout the rest of the month, it's always 9 o'clock.
Yep. And Jenny, I got you added to the list. Let me know if you have a question and which one of us you would like to read you. So kicking it off pretty awesome here. Keith is number 1 as far as the list goes, and Jenny is number 2. Right now we don't have any stars, but as always, stars do get you bumped to the top of the list. And right now, if my mom pops on, she's the only one that has stars left over from last month.
Who?
Dawn.
Dawn. Okay.
Yes. They are really
like it if y'all
getting it.
If y'all can't hear it,
can you let us know in the comments if you can hear it? Because I'm actually extremely curious.
I mean, it's full organ, the whole bit. It's actually rattling the windows of our office.
Yeah. So I'm curious just how well this microphone of ours is holding up.
like we getting it. It's Pentecostal time in this here building.
They said, "Let there be God," and there was God. I really do dig the fact that they're just so about it, though. Like, I love to see that shit.
It just reminds me of when I was younger. All right, Keith.
Got you added, Jenny.
Let's see what we got here. How have the dreams been lately, Keith?
can't help but smile and like just be kind of giddy. So Jenny said she can hear it in the background for sure, but it's not awful. And Linda Donaher said she can hear it. Hey, they're ecstatic. They're getting it. Keith, let us know in the comments how the dreams have been lately. He said fooked.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is we've got the sleepless card, right? Followed by the elusive card, and then followed by the fearless card. So, been some really odd ass dreams. Maybe not necessarily total nightmares, but definitely strange. Okay. Yeah. So, looking into it a little bit deeper, we have indignation that is hanging out with the sleepless card, and indignation is literal spite. That's what the card actually is. It's obstinance. It's complete. It's aggressive opposition. Like it's literally, I'm going to do this just to spite you, or I'm going to do this just to spite myself, or in spite of this. But it's usually those kinds of wordings or those kinds of thought patterns that come with the indignation card.
He said dreams have been fooked, but not in a bad way. Messages coming through.
Yeah, not necessarily, like I said, not necessarily nightmares, just odd. Now, the interesting thing here is we have innocence over top of being elusive. This talks about missing something. This talks about missing the inner child. This talks about missing a little bit of positivity. This talks about losing the whimsy. This is basically the inner child going, "Where you at?" And it's kind of the same thing with the sleepless and the indignation. We're kind of doubling down on the fact that things have kind of not necessarily run ashore, but things have kind of gotten to that point of smooth as far as sailing, but boring as fuck. And the mind and the spirit are like, you need to figure out what's going on here. So we have fearless and we have the adept. Now, this is talking about being secure in yourself. So far, this reading is really talking about, the odd dreams being things that you're missing on a day-to-day basis. So it's not necessarily that you're not paying attention. It's just that you're not seeing certain signs, or you're not able to grasp certain concepts, things that are happening in plain sight that are being missed. And everybody does that. Everybody does that. That's not an issue. Actually, it's the sign of a new adventure. Definitely. Yeah, there he is. I was thinking so. And there's that. Yes.
Keith said both strength and vulnerability coming through. That little kid has been reaching out. He said that like right before you did. We're talking repeating cycles, but yet I'm in a better place, but damn.
And that kind of shows too. So now we have tripled up here. So we've got sleepless indignation in the warlock. So this is talking about divine masculine. So a lot of the current issues are who you're approaching. So as far as your flavor, if you have been talking to one, the one you need to talk to is not the one you're currently speaking with. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means that the particular flavor that you're vibing with is not the one you need to actually speak to. The reason why I say that is we have elusive, innocence, and then we have the immortal, which in my cat deck literally speaks to the death card in tarot. It's talking about change. In order to find that elusive innocence, to be able to actually bond with that inner child the way that you're attempting to do, then there needs to be a little bit of a change. A lot of times, everybody's like, well, it's my inner child, but it's still seen as a separate part. It's still seen as something that can be externalized, when truthfully, your inner child is just your subconscious. It's the things that you've encountered, you've accomplished, you've been afraid of, you've wondered about, you have been carrying since childhood, learning since childhood. So at this particular point, you need to talk to a flavor that's going to actually help you with that. Connecting with a muse wouldn't exactly be the worst idea. And interestingly enough, on that one, we have Fearless, the Adept, and then the Navigator, which the Navigator in my cat deck speaks to the Star card in tarot, which is the light of hope. It's the guidance. It's the ability to navigate the storm, the choppy sea, being able to find your way at night, that kind of thing. So this is literally talking about you literally actually being called to by a flavor of divine that is trying to get you to connect to you in the way that you need to. And that connection just sparking, kind of like frayed wires coming in close contact. You got the arc, but there's no connection. Let's see, a little bit of, and there is the end of the reading. It all came back on itself, and in a card told me that I was on the right track. We have the Soulful card that came up last. The Soulful card literally, especially in this particular regard, talks about fruitfulness of the soul, being able to actually connect and understand your soul's purpose. It also talks about being fruitful in life through those things. So your expression of gifts, your epiphanies as far as your own personal and spiritual growth. So this literally...
He's...
That's it. Okay. So yeah. And if you do want to go divine feminine to get to that inner child, that's fine. But you need a commanding presence. You need one that a lot of people would see as fearsome or dangerous. Your next step of growth is not having a dark night of the soul, but actually doing the shadow work that's associated. And you need a presence that's going to be there through all that. I could give some suggestions to you, but truthfully, I would vibe and see which one sticks out. And I hope that did some good.
So, catching up on a couple of the comments, he said, been trying to find a balance between the masculine and the feminine, been off. Hi, Stephanie. And he said, new connection, one I'm not familiar with yet. And then was like, the black cat Thor, which is why I smiled and giggled. And Hi, Lisa. Let's see who else popped in. Mandy. Hi, Mandy.
What's up, y'all? We having church tonight.
Yes. And thank you, Linda Donaher, for sending some stars. If you would like a reading, let me know in the comments. Currently, there's only one other stars that has been sent. And right now, our list is Dawn, then Jenny.
Okay.
And Keith said, been working on the shadow work again, hence the openness to change.
Yes, sir.
Fair.
We're all going to get there someday, man. Every one of us.
And he said, thank you for the verifications.
Sometimes tarot readings aren't supposed to tell you what you don't know. Sometimes it's just confirming what you do. I hope you got what you needed from it, Bubba.
All right. So currently, the next one up is Dawn. And Linda, awesome. We can definitely do that. I'll get you added to the list. Would you like us both to read you, Linda, or would you like just one of us to read you? All right. So Dawn's question is, how can I keep myself grounded over the next few months, and still find time to progress with my abilities?
Who's reading?
Both of us.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, shout out to April for my new card box.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Gabby. And Keith said the sun just started shining through the window on me from behind a cloud.
Fuck yes, my good sir. It's good stuff, man. I always love hearing that. All right.
Okay.
How's Dawn gonna stay grounded?
And still be able to progress her abilities.
I don't know. Cinder block attached to the ankle.
Lots of etc.
Yeah.
And you're getting lots of compliments on your box.
Yeah, April did a custom order for me.
With Plinky's Magical Creations. She's
Yep.
awesome.
She is. They're all wood burned and stained by her. And she actually did that based off of one of my buddies. So some of you know him, some of you don't. And the ones of you that don't, he's a big fuck off fox. All right, now to stay grounded, huh? Well, there we go.
So, you want to go first or you want me to?
Either.
You can kick us off. if you're down. And thank you for sending stars, Russell. If you would also like a reading, just let us know.
So, yeah. That's a better way to look. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, doubling down. So, the way things are currently looking, I'm using a different deck. This is my Liminal Forest deck. But the way things are currently looking, the best things to really actually help you ground is one, using your gifts to be of service. And I say that because we have community followed by awe, followed by change. It's it's easy to get into this headspace of, well, if I talk about my gifts openly, people are going to look at me funny. Who said that you had to outwardly talk about them? You know, one of the best things about being a pastor when I was a pastor is the fact that I did all of this while just talking to people. You can do the same, whether that is your family, your coworkers, your community. You are literally involved in all three on a very regular basis. Putting your gifts to work in real time is what actually helps you, one, hone them, but two, stay grounded in them. It allows you to stay humble because you understand the situation that you're in at all times. And you understand where it is that you can fit them in and where it is that you kind of need to be more mundane. The next thing is we have treasure followed by storm followed by intuition. So this is kind of doubling down. We have treasure over community. So we need to value our community and what it is that we can do with them through service. We have storm over awe, which means that we need to understand that our gifts are a way for us to navigate the storm, to be able to make it through, to shelter people who need it, to provide a safe space. And then we have change and intuition. Intuition is over change. This is literally all talking about making sure that you're paying attention to what it is that's happening around you. There's been a very, there was a very recent incident where all of this kind of played out. So I think that you need to actually trust that. It's not so much about staying grounded, it's about not staying too grounded. And that particular one, not staying too grounded, my reading's over because it came full circle. We have the sacrifice card that came up last. Being of service and using your gifts the way that you need to in the moment that you need to, as opposed to second guessing and worrying about appearances, is what's important. Making sure that you allow yourself to be yourself, even in the times where you think you can't, is what's important. And being there in the way that you need to be and want to be, you're going to find that they're one and the same. Don't stress being grounded. Right now, that's not what you need.
So, tripling down on that, my reading is almost identical. So, I used the same deck that I used when you were up here. And the first card that you got was Trick Reversed. And immediately followed with Secret Reversed and Victory. But all they want to do is circle each other. What kind of doubled down on it, though, was having the Believe card as the last one. because this is literally the exact same thing that Steve just said. Understanding what it is that's fact and fiction based off of what's your intuition and what's your instinct. Staying grounded is an awesome thing. Staying too grounded can be kind of dangerous. But the big one for you is really the belief card. If you start questioning what's going on, you have plenty of things that you can talk to, plenty of people you can reference. You're not as alone as you think you are, at least on occasion. There's a lot more people around you that support you than what meets the actual eye. And be careful of falling into the same cycles. It literally just tripled down on what you said.
I mean, that's how you know. If you're doing tandem reads, it's how you know.
Because, I mean, I was sitting there like, okay, is there anything else I need to add? Nope, just have her believe in herself. Okay. So out of everything in this, to answer your question with a pretty bow, have some faith in yourself. Have some faith in others and the flavor that you rock with. Whether you realize you rock with them or not, they rock with you.
Awesome.
And thank you, Miss Melissa, for sending stars. I'm going to get caught up real quick, but our next one is Linda Donaher, and she wants a general from both of us.
It's general.
Yes.
Okay.
So far, just letting everybody know the list currently. Next up, we have Linda Donaher, and then we have Russell, and then we have Miss Melissa Bagley, and then Jenny, we have you listed after that currently, because we had several people send in stars.
Okay. Thank you guys very much for your support.
Yes. And for joining us on your Thursday night.
Absolutely. All right. So we're doing a general read from Miss Donaher, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, it is.
Tyree, why don't you come in here and read with us? He posted on YouTube that Jacob would like a reading.
Okay.
Hey, Miss April. Tyree would also like a general.
Yeah.
And who would the two of you like to have read you? I'm only giving Tyree sass because he's sitting in the other room, I'm pretty sure.
After he said he was going to read with us this week.
Yeah. What's that about, man? Especially he wants it from you. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to catch up on a couple more of these comments, and then I'm going to actually switch over to reading for Miss Linda Donaher.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you for sending stars, Miss April. Excuse me 1 second. Tyree is attempting to come in the door.
I'm trying to eat. You don't want me to eat on the lap.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
I'm kidding. Miss April, if you would like a reading, just let us know. Thanks again for sending stars. Alrighty. Linda Donaher.
Let's see if it pops up one more time.
Terry! Terry said hello, checking in from Miami Airport, waiting on our Uber shared out. Hope your flight was good, Terry. Yes, ma'am, you can. Would you like it from the reading from both Steve and I, or would you like from just Steve or just me? Just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure that you get added to the list correctly.
I'm going to give this one more go. And then I am going to switch decks. You guys are going to be turds. Behave. There we go. Thank you. General reading.
Yes, for Linda Donaher. As the church gets louder.
Like, I hope y'all are feeling it.
Oh no, Linda, don't worry one bit. It's literally the massive church playing in the background. That's what Steve and I are giggling about because it may not, I don't know how much is transferring on the microphone, but
It is banging. They're doing praise and worship music and full piano, full mic, full everything. And our building, which is not exactly a large building. So we all go into church. There we go. Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. You start this one.
Linda, I know you said your readings aren't usually, too uplifting, or at least I think that's what you meant, but he said it's all coming through. Well, we're on this train together, y'all.
We sure are. It's not a bad thing.
Speaking of, trains though, you got a lot of stuff moving real quick. A lot of those things you were really hoping for are actually starting to kind of move into place as far as finality, which is good to see. And part of the reason why I say that is because you got the transformation card and the decay card right after that reversed, and then messenger. Just 1 second, because I don't understand why the visionary card popped out along with the jester. Okay. So as things actually start to come to completion and finality, know that it's okay to actually be all right, and it's okay to not be okay if that's what you need. Part of the reason why I say that is because you got the visionary card and you got the jester card, but in between that is the mask. So many different emotions all flowing at once. And it almost feels like you're not entirely sure which ones to feel at the moment. And if I'm off base, please do let me know in the comments. Just remember to take a deep breath when you need it. Being strong together is still really important right now. What I find interesting is I'm pretty sure that the last time that I read you, I used this deck and I got the fire card as the last card. And that came up again today. It'll be all right. I think sometimes we just need to hear that. But as things come through in finality, just remember to actually take a deep breath and be patient with yourself. If you need to let that mask fall, just remember that it's okay too. You don't have to burn the world down. It'll be all right.
So I can kind of shed a little bit of light into the other part of the reading. This is the other good part about doing tandem reads. And that is something feels as though, at least as far as the reading is concerned, something feels as though you need to be on your back foot. And what I mean by that, for those that don't know, being on your back foot is being in a defensive stance, being able to run when necessary, dodge when necessary, or plant yourself when necessary when you are confronted. This is talking about things seeming as though they're too good to be true. We have the adept, we have the ward, and then we have the charmer. Literally, I've seen this pattern before, and I know that it usually ends in a very specific way. And then we have elusive, secret, and fearsome. So the answer to what is, that burning question, what's kind of nagging at the back of the mind, that particular thing that's kind of like, well, when's the other shoe gonna drop? When's the other foot gonna drop? That kind of thing. And it's really kind of doubling down here. Then we have the king, the all-seer, and patience. This is talking very specifically about a tangible presence. This is talking about either another person or a decision that you've made directly, and you're not really understanding where you're going to wind up as a result. You're being blatantly told to have patience. This is yet another reading where y'all are being told to have a little bit of faith. If you made the move, then stand by the decision. If someone else is making the move, then wait until you have evidence before you actually get defensive. Sometimes the human mind does very stupid things, and it makes us go, everybody's out to get me, or the world is a darker place than what it is, or there's always a penchant for a little bit of pessimism. Don't let that get to you right now. Things are going to get better. They might get a little rough before they do, but things are going to get better. Stand by the decisions you make. Stand up for the choices that you make. And don't let other people invade your space when it comes to that. And for some reason, I felt the need to say those things. So that's how I know that this reading's done, because all my readings cycle back on themselves when they're finished. I was talking about being the observer, and you got Pat's favorite card.
God, that card freaks me out.
The watcher. Literally talking about being an observer. Literally talking about allowing life to just life. And you observe as other things happen to other people. other situations play out without your input. Right now, you're set up for some really awesome stuff as long as you don't get in your own way. Next. Hopefully that did you some good.
Hopefully so. Next up is Russell, both of us, and General Reed.
Y'all and your general reads.
I have good and bad news.
Mm.
All but one of these readings is General Reed's.
Well, I am 100% playing.
Teasing you all.
Absolutely.
The generals, that's why I said both good and bad, because the generals are awesome because they literally have potential to go freaking anywhere.
But that's also a double-edged sword.
It's like talking to the most ADHD friend you have, and then literally just like squirrel, by the way, Wait, I thought we were watching this, no, but that. So it's an awesome ride. And so catching up on a couple of comments, and then I'll shuffle and I'll join in on the general. Keith said sometimes it's not easy to take that mask off and wear it to survive and protect ourselves, but eventually we grow up and we don't need it anymore. We just be ourselves.
'Tis the goal.
April, we were totally just teasing. Literally just teasing. If you would like the general read, that is totally fine.
No. It just honestly joking.
Yeah. And TG said hi. Hi.
Hello.
And Linda said, it did. I needed to hear that. Thank you both.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And currently, the list out is Russell's, who we're about to read. Miss Melissa Bagley is after that. Miss April is after that. And then switching over to Jenny, and then Jacob and Tyree. And that is our current list.
Gotcha. Also, for those of you watching and wondering, you don't have to donate stars. Readings are free. If you donate stars, you get bumped up to the stars category of reads. Reason being is technically you're a paying customer at that point. Even though we see stars as a donation, you're still paying us. So that's the reason why stars get a little bit more of a preferential. It doesn't mean that we're not going to read you. It just means that, unfortunately, they come first.
Yeah. So, Russell. Russell wants a general.
Starting out looking good. Oddly, there it is. I was like, wait, where's the weird? Because whenever I read Russell, I always get the weird. I'm like, oh, well, there it is. Interesting. I remember this chord. It would happen to be flat. It's praise and worship music sung in the back. Anyway.
I really hope y'all could hear the fact that he was singing not only on key, but to the freaking strums that were being played by the praise and worship music. Freaking amazing.
I did music ministry for 5 ever, so there is not much of a church chord progression I do not know.
We do love you, Russell. He said gee, thanks.
Well, I mean, to say that you're the weird read is actually a pretty awesome thing, because, dude, we do weird for a living. But all jokes aside, no, seriously, man, yours is always an interesting read for me. Uh, and I always dig that because some people are really cut and dry. When you read them, they're really cut and dry, regardless of what question they come to you with, or if they're repeat uh, clients. It's very to the point. Your reads always tell a story, and that's what's kind of cool about your particular situation. Yeah, that's fucking neat.
And he's not talking about the music this time. Total side. Do you want to start or do you want me to?
It doesn't matter.
I'll go ahead. This is a total. Well, this is kicking off into the reading. You've come so freaking far, man. You really have. Like, especially with what Steve was saying, telling in the reading. So I'm using the Wild Mystic card, and the way it wanted to be laid out was the family card, which is 2 seahorses, across from grow, and then to the left, sacred reversed, and then to the right, consume, also reversed. And it's like this awesome cycle that you figured out a way to break that could have potentially really been a generational one. And honestly, man, that's freaking fantastic. Like, kick ass. Like, super awesome freaking work, man, because it takes a lot to break those types of cycles. But you had to put in some massive freaking work. And honestly, you should be damn proud of yourself. Because this could have been something that would have been really, really rough on you. Really, really rough passing along. And you found a way to actually break it. And you should be proud of that. This is literally, as far as mine goes, a pep talk for you. Don't forget that just because something good is going on, that it's something bad. I say that specifically because you got the joy card on one side and then you got the trick card on the other. Like, you're stuck kind of in between. You're not entirely sure that you've actually physically broken this cycle, but you actually have. It's okay to be happy, man. And it's okay to find joy in things that wouldn't be seen as quote unquote stereotypical. But I dig the fact that you're actually cool with you being you now. That's spectacular. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I got.
Gotcha. So again, it's basically more of the same. It's what you get when you do tandems, but it's a different take on it. So the flavor that you have been approached by and have been looking into, that a lot of people may not have pegged you for someone who worked with them. And I'm being vague on purpose because I don't know how cool you are with outing that. But you're still reconciling that particular thing yourself. And the big thing here is we have the warrior card followed by curiosity and then fury. So it's literally talking about not understanding which side of the fence to be on. Then we have innocence, then the evil eye, and then sentinel. So it's that apprehension. And then we have balance, fearless, and the champion, which is telling me that, like Pat was saying, this is where her reading ties in. Like Pat was saying, you're starting to break free of that. You're starting to kind of understand that what does you is not going to do everybody else. And what you need is not what everybody else needs. You taking care of you is going to help you take care of others. What you need is what you have to have your peace of mind, have your soul safe, have your body together. And we're getting to that point of balance where things are at least starting to even out. Now, just because we make it back to zero, it doesn't mean that we are righted, quote unquote, that everything is perfect. It just means that now we have a starting point. We know where we've been. Now we need to figure out where we're going. And that's kind of where things are right now, is the direction. So we're going to keep going because it has yet to actually finish up here. So we have the Bastion followed by the Trickster followed by the Swift. Don't be afraid to make some moves. Things may happen quickly, but it's not always a bad thing when they do. If you stay, and this is tying into Dawn's reading earlier, if you stay too grounded, too protected, too, safe, you're eventually going to find that you stagnate. A bastion is a great place to be. It's an awesome place to be, especially when you're injured. But eventually you're going to have to escape the castle walls and find life again. Don't mistake safety for healthy. Sometimes it's not. There it is. And reading has come all the way full circle because we were talking specifically about starting at zero. New life, new choices, new direction. And because of that, we have the different aspect of the Fool card. We have the Novice. Everybody starts somewhere. And the first step is always the shakiest and it's the most difficult to make. But after that first one, the rest of them fall in line. You've got this, dude. Don't be afraid of life. Live it.
We have faith in you.
Woot.
Woot.
It do.
Okay.
Okay. I may need to use a different deck after this. Who we doing?
Miss Melissa Bagley.
Well, can't use a different deck.
Mm-hmm.
She always gets the cats. Is she wanting a tandem? You?
Yes. She wanted general in both of us.
Okay. We can do.
Do the champion. Yeah. Reading from both, please.
Yes, hopefully that helped out, Russ.
And actually, Miss Melissa Bagley, just double checking. You would like a general read, correct? Or do you have a specific question, ma'am? I thought I saw that you wanted a general, but it looks like I might have gotten that one a little crossways with a couple of the other people wanting generals. So I just want to make sure prior to before I speak out of turn. She did want a general.
Okie doke. We shall do. Yeah, it's just tripling down. Okay. You want me to go, or do you have it?
You start us off, pretty please.
We're going to leave you face down for the time being. See if you come into play here in a second. So, the way the cards are reading is that there's been, even if it's subtle, there's been a lot of soul searching right now. We have the subtle card, followed by the navigator, followed by the king. Now, the king, if we're looking at it in terms of tarot decks, the king would be the emperor, right? So, not necessarily a man per se, but a masculine figure, a presence, an understanding of the masculine side of things. So there's been a need to get into touch with different parts of yourself, things that you thought you might have lost, things that you haven't, brought up in a little while, things that may not have even known you had. Then we have the bliss card followed by the tribe, followed by untouchable. In this particular thing, this particular part of the read, it's talking about things that you feel are out of reach. Now, not that you're unhappy. This is talking more about direct contentment with where you're at and who's around you. It's one thing to be happy. It's another thing to be content. Complacency can lead to happiness, at least the perception of it. But contentment is being okay even when you don't get what you want. Contentment is being okay in the space that you're in with the person that you are. And right now, things are kind of getting to a point to where they need to shift. Maybe not a full change, but there's a shift that needs to happen. The reason why I say that is we have the Immortal, which is the death card, essentially, talks about transition. The Immortal, then the Guardians, and then the Vanguard. So it's talking about being preemptive. Specifically, it's talking about a shift in what we see as safe. There is a legitimate theme, like there is every single month. There needs to be a shift in what it is that's viewed as safe. And right now we're having soul search to figure out what the difference is between a comfort zone and a boundary. Lastly, we have the flame, then the secret, and then fearless. There's a drive. Like there's this restlessness. There's a need there that's not being fulfilled. There's a passion that needs rekindled, or an avenue of thought that's just, rampant in your mind. And finding where that path is going to lead is going to be your next big thought, your next big process. We have the witch, we have pride, and we have the elder. So the witch talks about finding more of the feminine divine in the things that we do, whether magical or otherwise. Pride, obviously, is talking both about ego, but it's also talking about taking pride and having confidence in the things that you do. The Elder is talking about learning from experience, literally the Hermit card. This is wrapping up your reading. Yeah. And it came full circle. Finally, this is wrapping up your reading. This is talking about, once again, overcoming yourself in order to find something new. Sometimes we wind up fighting ourselves instead of allowing ourselves to grow or to process or to be. And we find that our biggest enemy is ourselves, hence the pride card. Learn from prior mistakes, learn from, the things that have happened before, the incidents that led you to where you're at. And you're going to find that you have a little bit more innocence than you think. The interesting thing is the innocence card in this particular deck acts as the Fool card in tarot, and literally once again talks about starting at 0. We now have the ability to start over. And I'm going to shuffle these, but I'm interested. Go ahead.
So, kind of playing off of what Steve was saying. So, for me, the cards you started with were the Wheel of Fortune and Temperance, which I find interesting because it's a lot of repeating the same cycles and trying to make sure you don't. What I find interesting is that you also got the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Cups, which is literally playing off of the earlier part of Steve's reading, fighting to find the nostalgia, the happiness that you had before, figuring out a way to get back to that space and not being sure how to do it. So the other part that's kind of awesome is that under the Temperance card, you actually had the Empress. This is literally just, you doubled down. This is tripling again. It's the same reading, just with different cards. It's even the same cats. Steve talked about the Fool card, and that was the other big card that popped up for you. Faith like a child in yourself, others, and your flavor. That's actually the key to finding that 6 of Cups for you. Getting back in touch with what it is you want to do, who it is you want to be, because the possibilities are endless. You get to choose who you want to be every single day. Just make sure that you don't pigeonhole yourself with that. Hopefully that helps a little bit.
The interesting thing is, and this is the reason why this whole reading was specifically just for you, and that is the Charmer never came up. The Charmer always comes up when you need to hear from him. This time, the Charmer didn't enter the ring. Because the Charmer always comes up, which is the Magician card.
Yeah, it didn't pop up for me either.
The Charmer in this deck is representative of her hubs.
I know that's why she always gets the cats.
Yep. That's what I was looking for, was to see where he was in the deck after your reading. And he was nowhere near, anywhere close to where I would have pulled him. I find that really fucking interesting and awesome all at the same time.
Next up, we have Miss April, Madame Druzy does it herself.
Madam.
Which, some shameless plugs. Check out Druzy Does It. I think, if I'm not mistaken, April, you're actually having a sale right now too, right? If I am wrong on that, please correct me in the comments.
We're gonna have to start charging people a quarter for plug. I am kidding, sort of.
Miss Melissa
Mostly.
Mostly. Mostly. Miss Melissa said, "Thank you very much." Interesting that my hubby was silent with a heart.
It's a good thing. Your readings from me and Pat were both good things.
Mm-hmm.
He usually pops in when you need the extra encouragement. This time, I don't think he felt the need to.
That actually is pretty awesome. Hi. April was like, "Hello." Yes, Druzy does have a sale right now. If you're looking for some crystals, check them out.
Some crystals.
Some crystals. Alrighty.
A lot of our work stones. I know a lot of people have fell in love with our Daves. She is who we get Daves from.
Mm-hmm.
As well as some other awesome stuff. A lot of our spheres and work stones we have actually gotten from Miss April.
And she does have a sale going on right now. It's a moving sale, 20 to 40% off all stock. Do you have the website up and running, April?
Because if you do, we'll let you plug it.
Yeah,
Throw
if you
it-
want.
Yeah, throw it in the comments.
Yep.
By the way, if we're plugging your stuff, and this is anybody,
Yeah.
feel free to drop your website and contact info and shit in the comments. Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge. Not so subtle.
Free promotion or whatever. All right, who's up? Miss April?
Yes.
General?
Yes.
Is it just you?
It's both. It can be move related if that's what comes through, but totally up to whatever happens.
Okay, so what do you think, guys? Is it you? Okay. That's an interesting card to start with. Never mind. Okay, that's better. Oh, there's Buddy again.
Oh God, that creeps me out. That Watcher card, I will spoil some of that. The Watcher card is the one of the ones that popped up, and it does it. The chin creeps me out.
That's interesting. Like, actually, because normally I don't get these kinds of reads normally. And that's not for dramatic effect. I usually don't get readings like this that are cautionary.
No, you usually don't get warning ones.
Not heavy. This one's pretty blatant.
You want to start off then?
I can.
By all means, because right now, actually, I don't mind kicking off.
I mean, either way.
So, I'm still kind of working on what it is that's going on because I'm using the Wild Mystic deck, and the two first cards that you got were Determination and Consume, which is an interesting combination, especially labeled with the two cards that decided to be on their sides that are in constant rotation. And those are in opposition, and that's Trust and Love. So what I'm trying to figure out is why there's such a determination to have all of your trust and or your love in alternating sequential order.
Yeah, it's definitely. Okay. Let's just double down.
So,
Damn it.
is clarification cards. You got the soul work card and balance, but they're also inverted. So far, all of the cards have been in a cyclical rotation, and none of them want to all be one direction. It almost feels like you've got three separate situations that are trying to all equal out, and they all pertain to the same thing. I just don't have the clarification yet on what each one of the three is. One feels like the move, one definitely does not. Okay.
I pulled it.
All right. So, there's a couple of clarifying cards. You got memory reversed, death upright, and joy inverse.
Jesus.
Which means these are not actually three separate situations. They're the same situation from three different perspectives.
So that's why. Okay.
One of them is literally I'm trying to figure out the right words because it's like a bunch of chatter and mixed emotions and mixed feelings and mixed words, and there's not a singular path because all three of them are trying to converge, but there's a struggle there. There's a choice that actually needs to be made, and it hasn't been made yet. So the last two cards you got from me is kind of a what the hell is going on. We're victory and strength, which tells me you already knew that all of this was going on. You just needed to know it was going to be okay. And it will be. As long as you maintain your integrity and you maintain where it is that you want to be. They just need to know you're going to be okay. They just need to know this is what you actually want. And things will fall into place where it is that they need to. There's a difference in compromise and accommodation. You can compromise, don't accommodate with this. Puff, puff, pass.
So mine is a cautionary thing more specifically, but it may give a little bit of insight for Pat's reading. This is telling you to be very careful of who you have in your corner right now. So we have a male practitioner. We let out with the Warlock card. Usually the Warlock coming in later on in a reading talks about masculine presence in, practice. Whereas this, when you lead out with him, is literally talking about a male practitioner. Probably not necessarily an old man, but definitely someone who's supposedly made the rounds, been around the block a few times. You're being warned about him. You literally get the warning card. So we have the Warlock, the Elder, the warning, and then pride. What's really interesting about this particular bit is that the row and the column match. You have the Warlock followed by the novice. In other words, it's somebody that talks a good game but doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Then you have the watcher, and then you have the all-seer. So the row and the column are pretty much talking about a reader that's more of a body language kind of person. They do cold reads. Be careful of the advice that you get from this person. It's not going to be sound. It doesn't mean that you have to avoid male readers or practitioners. It just means that you need to have them back up what it is that they say. We have the elder, then we have the resolute, then fury, then the swift. This is talking about someone coming in after the fact, after you have either already taken this advice or are already getting kind of poked at, or hey, would you like a reading? I'll give you a reading for free, that kind of thing. This is talking about someone that actually knows what they're doing, coming in and going, no, 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 no. Literally standing in the way and going, that's enough. Mind your own. Keep in your own lane. Then we have, and this is what tells me that this is exactly what is going to happen. We have the warning, followed by illumination, then the tribe, and then guardians, literally stack upon stack upon stack. Whoever this person is going to be outed for telling bullshit. And your friends and your, spiritual tribe, literally, are going to descend on this motherfucker like locusts. Understand that the people that you have in your corner are the ones that you need. But even if they are in your corner, you should always fact check them, whether that's us or anybody else. Lastly, we have pride, followed by the trickster, followed by the king, followed by soulful. Literally, this person thrives off of attention. It's somebody who is a very large narcissist and prefers to feed off of energy or emotion through readings, through touch maybe, or very intimate kind of one-on-one sort of things. It's very predatory. So just watch the way people talk, watch the way people move. It doesn't mean that you have to watch everything you say and do, or, constantly look over your shoulder. It just means be careful. Right now, there's a lot of bullshit artists that do the thing like we're doing the thing. There's a lot of people who take advantage. Just make sure you're not one of the people that gets taken for granted. The reason why I'm telling you to be careful so much is, in your reading, we get the charmer. In this particular sense, we're not looking at the magician, we're looking at the devil. And the reason why I say that is the trickster card is in here as well. It's a sweet smile and, a couple of the right words can get anybody to say or do exactly what it is that person wants them to do. Yeah. So, last card in this reading. Don't volunteer information. It's the silence card. Don't volunteer information. If you aren't asked for it, and even if you are, and it's no one else's fucking business, it's no one else's fucking business. Don't volunteer information. People like this, cold readers, will literally prey on that. If you tell somebody that you have some stressors, that you've got some things going on, that, you're grieving a situation or a person, if you give them life events like that and then ask for a reading after, they're going to prey on the fact that you gave them that. And that goes for everybody watching. There's a lot of bullshit artists out there right now. A lot of cold readers.
So
Y'all take care of yourselves.
April asked, okay, so no more readings until after I move. Is it someone I know or a new person?
Let's see. Y'all gonna tell me? So she got the collaborate card upside down, so inversed. So that means no, don't talk to anybody. And the reason why we were laughing is I pulled the untouchable card. No, keep your fucking hands off. So this is, yeah, it's somebody new. Because we have the gatekeeper card after. It's somebody new. It's someone that you typically wouldn't get a reading from. Yeah.
That's the disguised card. So it's literally just doubling down on what Steve just said.
It's somebody that you typically wouldn't get a reading from, or maybe you got a reading from, but you don't really know them.
She said, because you guys at Market are my only readers. So, kind of doubling down. They're going to feel kind of like those Facebook bots that pop in? That are like, oh, hey, I felt you in my soul that you need to hear blankety, 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 blank. They're going to feel a whole lot like that. Grab you from the side hallway and go, so this person said that, your great grandmother wants you to love yourself. Or
Real generic, really cold, really anybody and everybody could either know that information or
does. Just keep your energy safe too, as far as that goes. Remember, and this is another blanket thing, remember that the word no is the best word you can use against anything metaphysical or energetic.
And here's the next big thing. We may be your only readers, at least that you would typically go to, at least at the market. But how often do we ask to read you? Keep that in mind.
She said, okay, I had a feeling when I met her, it may be off with her.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Be aware that
Showing you
intention. Yeah.
that as I read your comment out loud.
The big thing is that an actual reader is not going to beg for a reading. Their clients come to them. So if someone is coming, I could give you a reading. Do you want a reading? I do readings.
Excuse me. It's one thing if it's like a trade. April said no is a complete sentence. Yes, ma'am.
There is a period at the end of that word.
Excuse me.
And yeah, if it's a trade, like if you agree to, hey, I can give a reading. I don't have the money, but I can give a reading in trade for, this particular sphere or piece or, and you agree to that, that's actually a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
They are paying for that by giving a service. But if someone's literally begging to read you, I've had people come up to me, I would just love to read you.
Bet you would.
I'm dying to read you. Do you mind if I just take a couple seconds? And yeah, I do. I actually do. I'm busy.
Side note, Jenny, are you still in the comments, ma'am? But while I'm waiting on Jenny, because she's the next reading,
Awesome.
and it's just for you, and I'm actually gonna pop out to the bathroom because coffee. The RV, but
Gentlemen.
but double checking, Jenny, are you in the comments still? And April, if you have any other questions, let us know. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's cool too.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about it on the live. You can private message one of us, or the Spirit Mechanics page. If you want it to be private, that is 100% your business.
Yeah. Jenny is still here. She would like a reading on the state of OB. The state of the OB address, I believe, is the phrasing she actually used. And April said, thank you. I'll be back.
You're very welcome.
Confusing.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys a break. Because, Lord, y'all have got to work out this evening. All right. So we're doing a reading for Jenny about OB. While I'm getting cards together, just reiterating for those who may be watching, readings are 100% free. We appreciate it if you donate stars. Donation of stars is pretty much a gratuity. It does not go to us. All of this goes back into the team, us being able to go to events and host classes and different things like that. So we definitely appreciate it, but stars aren't needed. Readings are free. If you donate stars, you get bumped to the top of the list because technically at that point you're a paying customer. Just letting everybody know. Also, while I'm shuffling, I was being very serious. It's okay to vet your reader. It's okay to ask questions. You don't have to be closed off and dickish to make a point of, I'm not giving you any kind of personal information. Let's see what you get. It's okay.
Is there a cat fight going on?
Probably. They're all pissed off because I put them up, but I'm like, I need a minute. Plus, I kind of like that.
Yeah. I like the vibe of it.
Keeps me unbiased. So, filling y'all in while I'm getting ready for Jenny, I've got a little cat bell. It's literally the lucky cat, but he's on a little string, and I've got him wrapped around my finger. So, for those that didn't know, I vibe with Lee Sue, which is a Taoist cat god. So, I have a lucky cat. But hearing the bell keeps me humble, keeps me unbiased.
And April, to answer your second or your other question, right now, based on current events, it looks like 5 to 6 months as far as the move and how soon. Currently, at least. There's a couple of factors that could change that. But right now, that's what I'm getting.
All right, so I'm asking about Obi. And that's a good one to start with. So this one may be, this one may be a little bit cut and dry here. Yeah. Okay. So as far as Obi's concerned, Jenny, we have the common ground, then we have adrift, and then we have intuition. Basically, what this says is that you guys are literally where you need to be as far as the two of you. It does tell me, however, that you're not really listening when you're being told. Because if you guys are already where you need to be, but you still feel adrift, that means that the intuition isn't actually being listened to. We have creative, then seed, then choices. So this is talking about you specifically beginning to think outside the box a little bit. You know, Obi's not just a horse. Obi's your friend. Obi's your companion. Obi's your therapy. You know, you need to view him as more than just a horse in a stable, or more than just a project, more than just a friend when it's convenient. You need to see him as what he is. Obi in and of himself is a type of familiar. Don't deny him his purpose. If you want things to be better, you're going to have to make a better choice. Right now, the lack. Right now, the lack of viewpoint is causing some It's causing some definite issues. So not trusting the intuition is kind of guiding you in a completely different path than what's true. We have Will o' the Wisp, which is a rough card in this deck. I'm using the Liminal Forest deck. Will o' the Wisp is a creature that is a wisp of light, or ethereal flame that leads people astray. Usually they're found around graveyards or unmarked graves or deep into very thick forests. But they lead people off of the beaten path and into spaces where they can get lost. We then have the smoke card followed by walls. So we're going to get into a space where we can't see a way out, or we can't figure things out if we're not careful. This comes back into making the choice to actually trust that intuition. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves alone in a situation. Obi is going to be there 100%. He's still young enough to where he understands what the score is, but he's getting old enough to understand what the score is. And there's the end of the reading. We have the present card coming up last. Quit worrying about what has happened and focus on what's currently happening. Don't focus on what could happen. Focus on what's currently happening. Horses take things day by day because they have to take everything in stride. Humans should learn by that example and actually do the same. Trust your intuition. If you're getting this nagging feeling to go and talk to him, go and fucking talk to him. If you're getting this need to go out and take care of him or check him or groom him, then guess what you should probably do? If you just want to go and talk to him, Go and talk to him. Spend the time. It's not as difficult as it seems.
Jenny said, okay, sounds very correct. And I was going back and forth with a couple of the people in the comments, catching things up. Jenny, hopefully that helped a little bit. She said, okay. Last up for you, Jacob requested a reading. It was a general. And then after that, Jenny said it absolutely did.
Even though it might have come across stern, it still wasn't a bad reading. It's just going with the theme this month. Having a little bit of faith in yourself is not the worst thing.
Almost every reading.
Almost every reading. At least on my end.
No, I think same for me. I think April was the only one that I can think of currently.
That one was wild, though.
It was its own story.
Yeah, because usually we don't get readings that are, oh, you need to be careful. Usually we don't get those. Usually SMX readings have a lot to do with the person and their own choices. But April's read was well outside of her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really interesting. All right.
Jacob
wants a general. Makes twice that you guys have done that to me.
In April, I hope too. She had asked about timeline for the move, and it looked like 5 to 6 months. But if that's the case, then she's gonna not get the house that she wants. So I hope I'm wrong on that.
The big thing to remember with intuition and readings like these, using an outside medium like cards, or even if it's just a vibe from a reader, so an intuitive nudge, just because you get a particular date or timeline, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen on that date. What it means is that it's going to happen by that time. So either 5 to 6 months from now, or within the period of 5 to 6 months from now. Because your choices dictate what happens in the timeline.
Definitely might be wise to exercise caution with her then, April.
What now?
April had posted there's a new person that wants to help from my women's group, and I felt the need to be cautious when I met her.
Yeah, I agree with Pat, because it was such an unorthodox reading for me. Those kinds of warnings usually don't pop. I've only had a few of those that have come out since I started reading publicly again. And yeah, if you've already gotten a weird kind of sketchy vibe from that person, I'd kind of keep it arm's length personally. Ooh, all right. So, starting out Jacob's reading, I need a little bit more clarification, so I'm going to be pulling some more cards. But by the looks of things, who we thought was safe in our life is definitely not. Masks have come off, illusions have dropped. people are starting to show true colors. And the reason why I say that is we have the Guardians card, which literally talks about protectors, obviously. Then we have the Navigator, which is talking about finding direction. And then we have Predator. So this is literally one talking about finding who is safe, and two talking about running from who we thought was safe. Yeah. Yeah. So, looking at the next three, we have innocence, then we have silence, then we have the resolute. This literally talking about biting our tongue, not speaking, feeling as though we don't have the right words or the ability to say what it is that we need to say, or the ability to do what it is that we need to do because we're overshadowed. The innocence of a child is very quickly swept into a point of do as I say, not as I do. Kids are supposed to be silent unless spoken to. And this is no different. This talks more about an authority figure. At least someone that you view as an authority figure turning out to not exactly be safe. They're not exactly what's beneficial to you. They're not following their own advice. They're not paying much attention to how it is that they treat you. They're not paying attention to your specific needs. We have the flame, followed by fearsome, followed by the queen. This is literally talking about more than likely either someone who is effeminate, so someone who could be a dude but has more of a feminine presence, or this is talking about a female in your life, one that is definitely an authority figure that actually got backed up. So the cats are vibing with me. So definitely a female authority figure. There's a lot of probably fire and brimstone kind of talking. We literally have the flame and fearsome. And there's a lot of animosity is not the right word. Yeah. They think they're saving you from something. The reason why they are being domineering or rough is because they believe that they're saving you from something, that you're making terrible choices for yourself. So, the last card we have is the Immortal. In this particular deck, as I've said before, it is the Death card. It's talking about ending cycles, starting things new, changing what's there into something beneficial, or changing ourselves and becoming someone new. There's going to have to be a choice that's made. There's only so long that you can keep the peace before you're going to wind up either broken or you're going to wind up lashing out eventually when you've had enough. You have to be careful of getting into spaces where you allow other people to dictate how your life runs. If you're a grown-ass man, then you can make grown-ass man decisions. And your life is supposed to be lived by you, not by other people's standards. You can't define yourself by what it is that people believe you should be. and doubling down. Take some pride in yourself, man. Literally the pride card after change. Take some pride, take some confidence. You can do this. You've got a lot of good things that are happening to you currently. You've got a lot of good things that could potentially happen. And don't let someone else step on that shit because you've earned it. You've put the work in, man. Stay the course, chin up, chest out. Right? Hopefully that helped, bub.
All right, Tyree.
Just you?
Yeah. Jacob said, all right, that makes sense now. Thank you.
You're welcome, bub.
Are you ravening? Or are you just shuffling?
Well, I can raven if you want. They just started scrawling. So,
Well, the reason I'm asking is because all of these cards are reversed. And I know that they like to play with others.
well, it's up to you. It's your reading.
If they want to scrawl, that's fine, but if not, that works for me too. Because honestly, Tyree's is pretty straight and to the point. Well, that really sums it the fuck up. So, Tyree, you got from the Wild Mystics, you got Inspire, Work, and Transform. And from the Ravens, you got Disguise, Mourning, and Shape Changer, mirroring them. There's a difference in managing the chaos around you and being the calm in the chaos. Take some time to actually do the work on making sure that you're not trying to fix the wrong sides of chaos. Chaos is chaos. Being a chaos mage, it's not exactly up to you to stop the chaos or to mismanage it. Take a deep breath, man. If you want to try something new, try something new. If you want to make changes, make changes. Just make sure you're making them for the right reasons. Also, take some time with just you and your flavor. Specifically the snake. Spend some time, but actual time with just him. There's some specific things he wants to work with you on, and there's some specific things he actually wants to help you heal. But you have to actually let him. All right. And this actually loops into a lot of the other ones. Have some faith in yourself. Actual faith in who you are as an actual person. We love you. Don't forget that. Hopefully that helped. Alrighty. And as far as Tiff asked if we were playing with the new decks, Steve's actually came out earlier.
Yeah, for a couple reads.
Yeah. Mine did not want to. It was actually pretty much just a Wild Mystic night. But there were a lot of general reads tonight too. And that's usually a much better general read deck.
But yeah, I've shouted out the liminal, forest deck a couple times. It's come out through 3 readings.
I think so.
I think two definitely, 3 maybe. The rest of it's pretty much been cats and pretty much cats.
Cats.
Yeah, because that's my general read deck. Because the cats are like, yeah, we'll dish the gossip. That's fine.
We'll find it. So, thanks to everybody. I love you, Tyree. He said it fucking did. You almost got to be the first reader to make me cry. Love you guys. We love you too. We do.
Just love yourself, fucker. By the way, Spirit Mechanics is an 18+ community, and this is an 18+ show.
Hold up. I gotta. Huzzah.
There it is. Ticker.
Ticker.
That probably should have been up the whole time.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay. It's whatever.
But
we do. We love you though, man. And I'm glad it helped. So, as far as everybody who joined us tonight, thank you so much for spending your Thursday night with us. It's always extremely appreciated. Thanks to everybody who sent us stars. It's extremely appreciated. All of it goes back to funding the team. So the stars actually help us help other people. Spirit Mechanics is funded by Spirit Mechanics community.
100%. We do the things that we do because you guys allow us to. And we provide what we do because it's what you guys ask for. So, it's literally it. We are a team unto the people. Who's working for you?
So, thanks again, everybody. And just as a reminder, really the big thing going on next month is the Mystical Market, the 3rd weekend of the month. We're going to have a fresh topic set next month. And
100 series classes are going to be sometime next month.
yes.
So
we'll have all that information for you guys coming up. And we're looking forward to it.
100%. But always remember that at this point, our forecasts, so the energetic forecast is officially a YouTube exclusive right now.
Mm-hmm.
That should be up sometime tomorrow. We're going to get with Brian. He's got a new work schedule. So it should be up tomorrow, by tomorrow night. Obviously, there wasn't a quick word this week. There is a lot of reason for that. I bring that up in the forecast. And if you guys didn't hear from me last week, at least as far as what had happened, I released my mother's ashes on Sunday. So I needed a couple days and probably need a couple more. But that being said, that's the reason why certain content wasn't done this week, just being accountable. And we thank you guys for showing up every week and being supportive of each other. That's one of the greatest things about the Spirit Mechanics community is y'all are the most non-toxic community on the entirety of the interwebs. And we love you for that. So Until we see you guys again, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love y'all.
Have faith in yourselves. Have faith in each other. Have faith in